Well, you've just seen it taking centre stage on camera. You've seen the winners' medals, you've seen the losers' medals, you've seen the champagne. It'll taste so sweet for one side tonight, it'll taste rather flat for the other. Yes, hello everyone, welcome to the Adrian Flux Arena for ReRun Productions coverage of the match that really does matter. This is the big one. This is the SGB Premiership Championship Playoff Final second leg. The Championship title to be decided here across the next 15 races this evening. And as things stand, it's advantage Poole, 53-37. They won at Wimborne Road on Monday. Started with a bang, 4-5 once to kick things off, then another 4-2, and then the Stars pegged them back, got it back to 8 points at one stage before finally slipping to that 16-point deficit after the first half of this tie. From a Poole perspective, it's been an absolute roller coaster ride this season. They, of course, lost Chris Holder pre-season before a wheel was even turned in anger. They started the season in stuttering style, no denying that. The critics were out. The keyboard warriors were out as well. They said this Poole team is going to finish bottom of the table. What's happened? They brought in riders. They've turned things around. They made it into the playoffs, and then they had that last gasp, courtesy of Chris Bomber Harris in Heat 15, success against Somerset in the semi-final to stake their place for the gold. As for the True Plant Stars, well, truth be told, they've always been regarded as an unfashionable side in the sport. Yes, they've won 2 Premier League titles. They've won the Knockout Cup, not only in the Premier League, but also at British League level back in 1977. But they've never had a success in the top flight as far as the League Gold goes itself. We'll be talking to Dale Allett shortly, and I'm sure he's going to be talking about the way this whole club has been turned around from being an unfashionable side into a real progressive go-getting team. And they've certainly proved that on track this year. They finished top of the league table with a full 6 points to spare, and that again was after the pre-season pundit said, you guys are also going to finish bottom of the table. They didn't wait for Poole to take that spot. They said that Lynn would take it themselves. So they won the league by 6 clear points. They won home and away against Bellevue in the semi-final just to ease through into this playoff final itself. As far as tonight is concerned, missing 2 key riders though. Michael Palm-Toft injured in heat number 12 on Monday, suffering a broken hand, and Carl Howarth the guest there, and Adam Ellis guesting indeed as he did on Monday in place of Niels Christian Iversen, who took very heavy tumble in the Tomasz Golob meeting in Poland. So 2 guests in for Lynn, 1 for Poole. Nick Morris again home and away for both elements of this tie here for him, and he again could be a key playmaker for the team. He steps in for Brady Kurtz, out with that broken collarbone suffered in the semi-final. So what's going to go down? Whatever does, it's certainly going to be an evening of destiny for one of these teams. For Poole, they have 9 top flight titles. Success here this evening on aggregate would make it a magical double figure win number 10 in top flight titles for them. For Lynn, as we say, a very first top flight gold beckons, and whichever way it goes, I'm sure we're ensured of a night of magic here at the Adrian Flux Arena. Well, the bomber has landed. Chris Bomber Harris of the Volvo Cars. Poole Pirates next in focus here. And Bomber, we've just been talking to Nicolai Klindt. He was talking all about that first leg on Monday night and saying 16 points overall, despite the fact you didn't really add to what you achieved in the first 4 races. He'll take that one, certainly heading into tonight. Yeah,
obviously a bit disappointed the way we started to not come away with more, but you know, 16's a good lead. It's going to be tough though. These guys here are fast on the home track, so we've got to make sure we've got our gating gloves on. It might be a bit hard out to overtake tonight, especially the home riders with the grip they got on it, but you know, we hold no fear, we're up for a challenge.
Well, Nicolai, I won't say a late addition to the team, but he certainly joined into the season. You joined more or less at the halfway stage following the closure of Rye House, so a down and up year for you, but you certainly landed on your feet. Yeah,
I was lucky that Poole was making changes, or needed to make changes, so yeah, I'm grateful for the opportunity and I've enjoyed it.
And I have to ask as well, I know we're talking all about the final, but that semi-final, that Heat 15 against Somerset, just talk us through your key memories of a week ago.
Yeah, no, it was good. I just done like my usual, just keep racing until the bitter end, and just managed to really outsmart Jason, really. Sold him sort of the dummy, if you like, if it was going wide, and managed to sneak up the inside where he left the gap. So, but yeah, it was a good race, and one that we needed.
And lastly, Chris, we know you've been a top flight champion in the past. You did it for Coventry against Poole, for example. Neil Middleditch needs no reminding of what you did there in the second leg. But what would it mean to add another crown into your resume?
Yeah, well, you know, you come in the sport to win trophies and that's something I want to do tonight, to add another one. I've won it, say, 3 times at Cov, but it'd be nice to win it this time with Poole.
Okay, all the best, Chris.
Thank you.
Well, Norfolk fans will be hoping that this is a day of destiny for the True Plant Stars. For Neil Middleditch, the team manager for the Volvo Cars Pirates, it's all about an absolute turnaround in the season, or completing that turnaround here tonight and making your own destiny.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we've had a real torrid season all the way through. You know, bottom of the league in July, got up to top, finished third, and in a final. So yes, whatever happens, it's been a great season.
People say that the Pirates always have that habit of being there or thereabouts, and you always roll with the punches. You do it year in, year out, without giving away trade secrets. What is the secret?
I think you know, Matt's he works very hard to get a good team together, and you know, we've used a fair few riders this year. You know, and you know, you can't win a league on sentiment, and when things aren't going right, you have to change them.
You do indeed, and people would add as well that if there was a psychological advantage for the Pirates, not only that real surge in the second half of the season, not only what you did on Monday in the first leg at Wimborne Road, but that Heat 15 against Somerset, that last gasp effort to really pull a whole tyre out of the fire, that really has psyched up the boys and carried them into this week.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Bomber in that race, I mean, I've seen it time and time again. I still don't know where it got it from, but yeah, absolutely fantastic, and that really spurred us on. But you know, we know the job certainly isn't over yet. We know how good Kings in are around here. You know, they've put us to the sword a couple of times, so we've just got to really get in there and try and stay with them.
Okay, Neil, all the best for this evening. Thanks very much.
Cheers.
Quite a contingent of Poole fans who have congregated on the first bend, and well, there they are. You can see them there under the BT Sports gantry. That's where we'll be filming from this evening as well as the fourth bend as well. So getting plenty of action, covering all angles here this evening, as the riders say just about to be introduced by Kevin Moore. No Niels Christian Everson, of course, this evening, not alongside Michael Palmtoft. So Kings Lynn certainly are at a disadvantage, bringing in Adam Ellis. Just got a shot of him, and also Carl Howarth for the Stars, and for Poole, of course, without Brady Kurtz following his big get-off against Somerset last week when he had a crash with track holder in Heat 4. Nick Morris coming in to replace Brady over both legs, as the riders are about to be introduced. Frederik Jakobsen, he rides at number 7. He's getting a few boos, of course. Obviously that was from that incident in Heat number 12 last evening when Michael Palmtoft was excluded. Richie Worrall, he rides at number 6. He did very well last night, paid 11 from his 4 rides, only dropped 1 point to the opposition. Nick Morris in for Brady. He started with a win last night. He finished with paid 7 from his 4 rides, including 1 full in the meeting. At number 4 it is Nicolai Klindt. He top scored for the Pirates with paid 13. He's had a good season for them this year since he came into the side. Of course, they made several changes, have Poole, since the early season. Septet, Kacper Woryna rides at number 3. He scored a couple of race wins last evening. Grajczonek at 2. He opened up with a race victory in his first ride last night on his way to 6 points. And Bomber Harris, he scored paid 10 from his 5 rides. And well, plenty of boost from his own teammates. Over to the Kings Lynn True Plant Stars at number 7, Simon Lambert. He scored just a couple of points from his 4 rides last night. Carl Howarth, as we say, coming in as a guest for Michael Palmtoft, who had scored paid 8 from his 6 rides. At number 5 it is Adam Ellis. He had a couple of wins last night, also 2 lasts and a retirement. An up and down meeting for Adam. Thomas Jorgensen, he rides at number 4. He had a race win in his paid 7 total. At number 3 it is Ty Proctor. He only got a couple of points last night from his 3 races, replaced by Simon Lambert in his last ride. At number 2 it is Erik Riss, who said in his interview with Craig he was very disappointed with that he only scored 3 points last night. That all came in 1 race win in Heat number 8. He had 3 lasts other than that. And at number 1 it is Robert Lambert, who finished off with 3 wins last night in his 12-point haul. That's how the 2 sides line up. As we get ready then, the action is finally about to get underway. 15 heats to decide the destination of the 2018 Premiership title. The lineup for heat number 1. Erik Riss comes out off gate number 1. Grajczonek is off gate number 2. His fellow captain Robert Lambert is off gate number 3. And off gate number 4 it is Chris Bomber Harris, who was such a hero, of course, for Poole in their semi-final second leg at home to Somerset last week. when he Bombers heroics in Heat 15, stuff of legend, coming from behind to beat Jason Doyle to get Poole through to the final, and they hold a 16-point lead. Referee Graham Flynn in charge here tonight. He released the tapes and into that first bend. It's a great start by the two Kings Lynn riders. A roar goes around the Adrian Flux arena as Robert Lambert it is who leads the way from Erik Riss in second place. Chris Harris and Josh Grajczonek are left in the Stars wake here. A perfect start for Kings Lynn in heat number 1. They have ridden against Poole twice, of course, at home this season. In July, where they were only victorious by a couple of points, and then in August, the end of August, so just over a month ago, and they defeated the Pirates very comfortably indeed by 58 points to 32. So obviously something similar along those lines, and they will be crowned as champions here this evening. They're getting off to a perfect start as Robert Lambert in who leads the way. Erik Riss, when he said in his interview, didn't he, with Craig, that he hoped to do much better here this evening. He's certainly doing that in the opener. He leads in second place. Robert Lambert is captain, and number 1 leads the way and wins the race. Lambert, Riss, Harris, that's the finishing order of heat number 1. And well, that's raised the decibels a level or two in the very first race, as this pairing, they've been absolutely terrific for Kings Lynn since Erik came into the side halfway through the season to replace Kacper Anderson, who is here this evening, the injured True Plant star. And we'll just listen to the reception for Robert and Erik. A perfect start for them, a 5-1 in heat number 1, and straight away they reduce the lead to just 12 points on aggregate. They move on to 42, Poole on to 54, as Erik and Robert receives the applause. Dow Elliott just coming out to congratulate his number 1 as well. Heat number 2, Richie Worrall comes out off gate number 1. Had a terrific meeting last 48 hours ago with paid 11. His engine, felt his engine wasn't quite right when he won heat number 14, so he decided not to come out, or he got paid winning heat 14 behind Nicolai Klindt. Decided not to come out in heat number 15. But it really was a great performance by him down at the reserve berth for the month of October, which will only be a couple of meetings of course, or about 4 meetings of course. So heat number 2, Carl Howarth, Simon Lambert, Richie Worrall, Frederik Jakobsen. The race is underway, and into that first bend was a good start by the rider in white. That is Richie Worrall, so continuing his great form from Wimborne Road. He leads the way. From in second place it is Carl Howarth. Jakobsen is in third. Simon Lambert is at the back. It is a heat advantage for the Pirates in the reserves race then, as Worrall leads the way from Howarth in second place. Carl, of course, rides for Wolverhampton in the Premiership this season, where all their matches now have finished, of course. It is Howarth in second place. Jakobsen is in third. Simon Lambert back for his, I think it's his 5th or 6th spell with Kings Lynn. He's at the back in this one as they start the final lap. It is a 4-2 for the Pirates, and this could see them move back into a 14-point lead. Of course, Poole, this year they're celebrating their 70th anniversary of Speedway racing at Wimborne Road. They had a big meeting early in the season, and well, it was a great occasion, and it could be a great occasion for them this evening, because they've just scored a 4-2 in heat number 2. Worrall continuing his great form from the reserve berth. Howarth gets second place, Jakobsen third, Simon Lambert, nothing for him in that one. So Poole, well, they reduced the gap on the night to 7 points to 5, and on aggregate they increased their lead to 14 points, 58 points to 54, as Simon comes round to receive somewhat muted applause from the supporters in the main stand on the home straight, but a tapes to flag victory for Worrall. Now there is Erik Riss just taking a look at proceedings ahead of heat number 3. Robert Lambert, so that was a great 5-1 for him and Erik in the opener. As we get on to heat number 3, then Thomas Jorgensen comes out off gate number 1. He's got a big part to play tonight. Well, all the riders have, obviously, but Thomas, he comes out from the inside in this one. Kacper Woryna is off gate number 2. Ty Proctor is off gate number 3. Gate number 4 sees Nicolai Klindt, who top scored for Poole last evening. Paid 13 from his 5 rides. Now he's had some very good meetings for Poole since he came into the side mid-season. Chris Harris, of course, another recent signing following Ryehouse's demise from the Premiership. Referee Graham Flint, there he is. And some of the supporters and fans in the main hospitality suite there to the left of the referee's box. The stadium here absolutely ram-packed. There's thousands and thousands here tonight. Heat number 3. Who will they witness be crowned the champions? Will it be the Stars? Will it be the Pirates? Heat number 3, the riders come towards us. And out of the gate, well, it's pretty even start. In fact, the riders have come down there. And Ty Proctor and Kacper Woryna, will they have hit the deck? And Proctor, well, he looks in some discomfort. It certainly looks as if it's a case of first bend bunching. As Woryna, well, he got a bit of a nudge there from Thomas Jorgensen. And Ty Proctor was just the unlucky rider on the outside. Nicolai Klindt and Thomas Jorgensen managed to stay on their machines. No exclusion lights, as the fans, well, they get to watch the replays here via the giant screen, BT Sport. And well, that's the right decision by referee Graham Flint. He's looked at the replays. All 4 invited back. Will Ty be able to make it? A bit of a concern look from the Kings Lynn fans, no doubt. But well, that's good to see. Ty's back to his feet. They're also out with him. And alongside Adam Ellis as heat number 3, the rerun is about to get underway. 7 points to 5 on the night. Poole leading by 14 points on aggregate. The rerun of heat number 3. We're ready to go as the tapes rise. Second attempt at this one into the first turn, and there's a great start this time by Proctor and by Jorgensen. They're on a 5-1 of the Kings in True Plant Stars. Here comes Klindt around the outside. Oh, but Jorgensen, the 2 Danes battling it out. But it's the Australian that leads the way. That is Ty Proctor, who's out in front from Jorgensen. He looks as if he's got second place. Him sewn up now, possibly. Nicolai Klindt, who gave it a good go on the first lap, he's only back in third, and Kacper Woryna is at the back. It is another 5-1 for Kings Lynn, and their supporters will no doubt they'll be daring to believe that the Stars could win their first ever top flight title. I think no team has pulled back at more than a 12-point deficit from the first leg in the grand final to be crowned the champions, and that was Poole back in 2011. So it really would be history being made if Kings Lynn could do it. They've got off to a great start. A couple of 5-1s in the opening 3 races, and they move into a 6-point lead on the night now, 12 points to 6. And on aggregate, they've cut that deficit down to 10 points already after just 3 races. Proctor and Jorgensen are 5-1 over Klindt and Woryna. So things going well for Kings Lynn early on. They, as a lot of people have stated, the Stars, they needed to get off to a fast start, and they've certainly done that so far. Those 2 5-1s certainly helping them out immensely, and now they just trail by 10 points on aggregates, and there's still plenty of races to go. 12 heats remaining.
With the first 3 very safely collected by the vice skipper, the agreement by both teams.
Heat number 4, next one up, Simon Lambert. He comes out off gate number 1, didn't score in his first outing. Frederik Jakobsen is off gate number 2. He beat Lambert, of course, in heat number 2 for that 3rd place. Adam Ellis comes out off gate number 3 for his first ride, and from the outside it is Nick Morris. So 2 riders normally ride for Swindon in the Premiership, of course, who were the champions from last year, but they just missed out on a playoff place this year. Heat number 4 gets underway. Who's made the crucial start? It is Nick Morris off at gate 4. He leads the way, and in second place it is Frederik Jakobsen. It's a 5-1 for Poole, with Simon Lambert in third. Adam Ellis is at the back, so a great start this for Morris and Jakobsen. Lambert only back in third place, and Adam Ellis didn't get off the start at all. He's at the back. Gates 1 and 3, well, they've been very productive so far tonight. Kings Lynn, well, they've had them a couple of times and scored those 2 5-1s. But well, they had Gates 1 and 3 in this one, but it's not going well for them. They're on the wrong end of a 5-1 here in race number 4. The Poole fans underneath on the first bend underneath us, they are making plenty of noise, as you can imagine, as Nick Morris looks like he's going to start off with a victory in heat number 4. He's just as he did last night. He's going to take the win, and Frederik Jakobsen, well, he's gone out very wide there, and Simon Lambert, well, he's got through into second place right on the line. Not sure what happened to the Danes machine there, but he hit problems on the mid-turn there, and Lambert, well, that just shows the effect of never giving up. Simon Lambert raced to the checkered flag and was rewarded with second place. Jakobsen only a point back in third. How crucial may that be? It is a heat advantage for Poole, but only a 4-2 instead of a 5-1. It does mean they reduce the gap to 4 points on the night and increase their lead once more to 10 overall, but it could have been more. Good ride from Simon Lambert. And Frederik Jakobsen, well, he will be disappointed with that. Having looked like for all the way he was going to get a paid win, but not to be. And there is Josh Grajczonek working on his bike ahead of heat number 5. We've got an advert break at the moment. There is Jakobsen. How vital may that drop point be? As Carl Howarth, a study of concentration, getting ready for his next ride. And Ty Proctor, we started off well with that victory, dusting himself down. As the riders are ready for heat number 5, and Proctor, well, he's out in this one. He joins Thomas Jorgensen, of course, one of 2 pairings for Kings Lynn to have scored a maximum 5-1 heat advantage, and they're against 2 riders who conceded a 5-1 maximum advantage in heat number 1. That, of course, being Chris Harris and Josh Grajczonek. Grajczonek coming out off gate number 1, Harris off gate number 3, with Ty Proctor off gate number 2, and Thomas Jorgensen off gate number 4. A packed Adrian Flux arena. Kings Lynn, of course, well, they finished. I think it was either bottom or next to bottom last season. A terrible year for them. In fact, of course, both these teams, well, they were bottom of the league table in July of this year. Poole at the beginning of July, and Kings Lynn during the month of July, before they made a couple of changes, and they had quite a few home matches to catch up on, and had that terrific win to finish top of the league table, of course. As heat number 5 gets underway, and it is Jorgensen who's made a good start, but so is Grajczonek. It is Grajczonek, the Poole captain, who leads the way. Here comes Harris on the inside of Proctor. It's another heat advantage for Poole then. In heat number 5, they've got a 4-2 in heat number 4, and they could be getting one here in heat number 5 as Harris, well, now he's chasing down Jorgensen. It is Josh Grajczonek who leads the way from Thomas Jorgensen in second. Chris Harris is in third. Ty Proctor is at the back after winning his first ride. It's all pretty close between the riders, as Grajczonek were hitting back superbly from that last in his first ride. It looks like he's going to get a win in his second race, as Jorgensen, will he just drift off his line there? Harris trying to get through on the inside. Ty Proctor not far behind either. Harris has come through on the inside of Jorgensen. Now Proctor's got through in the third place. It's all changing heat number 5, and it is a 5-1 for the Volvo Cars Pirates of Poole, as Josh Grajczonek wins the race. Second place goes to Chris Harris. The Poole fans below us are absolutely delighted, jumping for joy as you would expect. And it was a 4-2 for Poole. It was a shared heat early on, but then the Pirates, Josh Grajczonek found a way past Thomas Jorgensen, and then Bomber Harris did the same. And it does mean that the scores are now level after 5 races on the night, 15 points apiece, and on aggregate Poole have regained their 16-point lead from last night. The Poole fans jubilant, the Stars supporters somewhat quiet.
Josh Grajczonek opening his account with 3 huge points in a time of 59.93.
And down in the pits area, of course, watching the monitor, Midlow, he will be delighted with the bomber after that one. Paid for from his first two rides. Natalie Quirk, of course, who fronts the show up here for BT Sport. Just watching the action as well. We get ready for heat number 6. The line-up where it's Robert Lambert coming out off gate number 1. Nick Morris comes out off gate number 2. Off gate number 3, it is Erik Riss, and from the gate number 4 position, it is Richie Worrall, who had that terrific win in his first ride. Nick Morris, of course, well, he had a victory in his first race. So did Robert Lambert, and Erik Riss, well, he had a paid win. So all of these riders unbeaten so far. That's something unusual as we after the first third of the meeting. As the start marshal just tries to get the riders up to the start line, settling down. Big night for Lambert and Riss, obviously. Can they start to inch into that lead once again from Poole? It's 15 points apiece on the night. Pirates leading by 16 on aggregate as Richie Worrall, he's taking a tumble there. The race, well, it is continuing, and out in front it is Erik Riss who leads the way from Lambert in second place. In third spot it is Nick Morris. So this pairing for Kings Lynn, the strongest pairing in their team, they're on their way to what could be their second 5-1 of the meeting, as Lambert and Riss set sail for home. In third place it is Nick Morris, with Richie Worrall, he's on the infield, having fallen on the first lap. This pair for Kings Lynn, where we've seen them get so many 5-1s so far this season, especially at the Adrian Flux Arena, and this looks like it's going to be another one for them. This will be 2 out of 2 for this pairing, as Riss and Lambert, well, they cross the line. The fans delighted with that, with Erik taking the victory. Second place goes to Robert, third spot to Nick Morris, the only finisher for Poole in this one. So the third 5-1 in the opening 6 races for Kings Lynn. We're yet to have a shared heat, of course, because Poole, they've also had a maximum heat advantage and a couple of 4-2, so it's very up and down at the moment with the heat advantages. But there's one for the True Plant Stars, and once again Kings Lynn leading by 4 on the night, trailing by 10 overall. Heat number 7, getting close to the halfway stage of this second leg of this SGB Premiership final. We have got in this one Kacper Woryna. He comes out off gate number 1, didn't score in his first ride. Gate number 2, Adam Ellis, nor did he. Gate number 3, Nicolai Klindt, he got a point in his first race. And from the outside, Howarth, who got a second place in his first outing. So what way is this going to go? So it's unusual so far. We've yet to have a shared heat. These Stars, well, they've dominated 3 races with those maximum heat advantages. Poole have got one of their own, of course, through Grajczonek and Harris, and those 2 4-2s. What way is heat number 7 going to go? We'll find out in the next minute or so. The start marshal is satisfied. So is the referee. He releases the tapes out of the start. Who's made the fastest gate? Well, it is Klindt off of gate number 3 who leads the way. Woryna's got through in the second place. In third spot it is Howarth with Adam Ellis at the back once again. It is a 5-1 for Poole. So just when Kings Lynn, they build up a bit of a lead against the Pirates, the Poole side hit back almost immediately, and it could be another 5-1 for Kacper Woryna and Nicolai Klindt in this one. Klindt it is who leads the way. He's out in front of gates 1 and 3, working very well indeed early on. Of course, Lambert and Riss got one in the last race as well. So did Harris and Grajczonek before that. Gates 1 and 3 certainly are an advantage overall. And well, Poole are on an advantage here in race number 7. They're on a 5-1, and this would see them draw level once again on the night. and see them regain their 16-point advantage. And that's exactly what has happened, much to the delight of the fans underneath us, as Nicolai Klindt, his great form from Monday continues. He only dropped 2 points from his 5 rides at Wimborne Road, and he's scored 4 from his first 2 here tonight. Woryna, he'll be delighted with that, having failed to score from his first race. Howarth only a point in third. Adam Ellis, a disappointing start to the meeting for the young Englishman. He's failed to score from his 2 races. And there's 1 or 2 Poole fans who braved the main stand here at Kings Lynn. They'll be delighted. So will all these just underneath us. A big 5-1 that. The races where they are starting to run out perhaps for Kings Lynn. Only 8 races remaining, and they need to overturn a 16-point deficit. And there is Woryna walking back towards the pits. Matt Ford, obviously delighted with his young Polish rider after that paid win. And Nicolai Klindt, the man with the beard to be feared. They'll certainly be feared by the Kings Lynn Stars after that victory. Ty Proctor, shrug of the shoulders. Good to see Lewis Kerr, who's out injured of course here this evening, lending his support. As we move on to heat number 8 then, and this one which sees Frederik Jakobsen coming out off gate number 1. Simon Lambert comes out off gate number 2. Of course he beat Frederik in heat number 4 to the line for second place. Off gate number 3 it is Josh Grajczonek who got a win in his last ride, having opened up with a last place in heat number 1. The Poole captain, I think he's won 3 top flight titles. I know he's won it with Poole before, he may have done it a couple of times, but he's one of the most successful riders in British Speedway, is the Australian. He's off gate number 3. Erik Riss comes out off gate number 4, unbeaten by a Pirate from his first 2 rides. Of course he had those 2 5-1s with a Lambert, not Simon, who's out within this one. Of course Robert, can he get one with Simon? Rambo Lambert. Heat number 8 gets underway, and it is Riss who's made a great start off of gate 4. He's cut across to lead the way from the 2 Pirates in second and third. Here comes Grajczonek around the outside of Jakobsen. Jakobsen letting him get through in the 3rd place, but he will not want to let Lambert get through into 3rd place. Obviously it is a 3-all at the moment. This could be our first of the meeting as Erik Riss leads the way. He really has impressed greatly the Kings Lynn management and fans. Of course this looks like it could be unbeaten from his first 3 rides here tonight, and there's no bigger stage of course than the grand final. He's leading the way. Grajczonek in 2nd place, Jakobsen back in 3rd, but he'll be wanting to keep Simon Lambert behind him. Of course this time, unlike the last time they met in heat number 4, as Erik Riss it is who leads the way. Looks like being his 2nd win in a row. Josh Grajczonek settles for 2nd place. Frederik Jakobsen in 3rd, ahead of Simon Lambert. Neil Middleditch will certainly be the happier of the 2 team managers after that, because his side are getting closer to the title. Of course 90 points to win the title here this evening needed, and the Pirates, well, they're only 13 points away from that with 6 races still remaining, so every chance that they could be taking the title back to Dorset with them. Erik Riss, well, he's doing all he can to stop that from happening. Paid 9 from his 3 rides, unbeaten by a Poole Pirate. There is Erik back in his pitch bay. Alex just saying well done to him, no doubt. He's out of course again in heat 10 with Robert Lambert. Plenty of activity in the pits as the Poole manager Neil Middleditch just calling all his riders together for a team talk ahead of heat number 9. Got another advert break going on at the moment. They've got to be pleased with it so far. 24 points apiece on the night and leading 77 points to 61 on aggregate. And well, for Kings Lynn, I think they've gone out into the pits, or into the changing room, sorry, for their little get together ahead of heat 9. Riders out on track then for this one. We have got Nick Morris, he comes out off gate number 1, a win and a third for him so far. Thomas Jorgensen off gate number 2, he started with a paid win but then ran a last in his previous ride, of course being passed by Chris Harris. Off gate number 3 is Richie Worrall, he had that fall in his last ride following on from that win that he had in his first outing in Heat 2, and from the outside Ty Proctor, who's also had a win so far tonight, a win in a third place. So Kings Lynn, well, they've got to start getting some big maximum heat advantages once again. Of course, they started off well with 3 in the first 6 races. Poole, of course, well, they started off quite superbly last night at Wimborne Road. They scored 5 1s in the first 4 races and then a 4-2 in Heat 5. The Stars, they really were shell-shocked, but they did well to come back from an 18-point deficit to only trail by 16, but they still trail by 16 as Heat number 9 gets underway. Into the first turn, bit of an untidy start there as problems there for Nick Morris. He drops to the back, but it is his teammate Richie Worrall who leads away. So this is not good news for Kings Lynn. It's great news for Poole because another race could be ticked off with a shared heat. As Worrall leads the way from Proctor in second place. Jorgensen is in third. Nick Morris is at the back. Proctor, well, he's trying to, well, he is closing in on Richie Worrall. Worrall looking down at his machine. He looks like he could be slowing slightly as he leads down the back straight. Proctor in second place. Jorgensen is in third. Nick Morris still at the back. There's not much between all 4 riders though as they start the final lap. And here comes Proctor on the inside of Worrall, who definitely is slowing as they go down the back straight. Can Jorgensen find a way past the Poole number 6 as well to give Kings Lynn a maximum heat advantage? Proctor's going to win his second race of the night. Worrall just holds on for second spot ahead of Thomas Jorgensen. Nick Morris, he fails to score for the first time this evening. Got in all sorts of problems there with his own teammate, and that dropped him to the back. And then Jorgensen, well, Proctor found a way past Worrall on the third lap. It is a 4-2 for Kings Lynn. They do reduce the gap by a couple, but well, they need to. They really need some big 5-1s coming up. They have got Robert Lambert and Erik Riss out in the next race, so there'll be certainly the Kings Lynn fans will be hoping that they can get a maximum heat advantage from that. Proctor doing his job in heat number 9. That's his second win of the meeting. 7 points from his first 3 rides. 28-26 on the night, and Poole leading 79-65 on aggregate. And there is the bomber and Nick Morris, Josh Grajczonek also looking at him, Richie Worrall as well, Matt Ford, Natalie Quirk, they're all there, aren't they? Taking a look at the monitor ahead of heat number 10. Plenty of chat going on. Really, it's quite incredible what Poole have done this season, having come back from that from bottom of the league back in early July. And Steve Williams, the physio here at Kings Lynn, is just treating Ty Proctor's hand there. He seems to pick up a bit of a hand injury. That must have been in his first race, of course, in heat number 3. So he's done exceptionally well to continue in the meeting. 7 points from his 3 races. So a bit of concern there for Ty. He's due out again in heat number 12. Before that, we've got a couple of races. Heat 10 next one up. Nicolai Klindt comes out off gate number 1. He scored a third and a win for his 2 rides so far. Gate number 2, we have got Erik Riss. He has been unbeaten by a Pirate so far this evening. Gate 3, Kacper Woryna. He got a paid win in his last ride, of course, where he joined Klindt for that 5-1 in heat number 7. And from the outside it is Robert Lambert, one of the youngest, I think he is the youngest captain in the Premiership, as well as being number 1 for Kings Lynn. What a year it has been for Robert this year. Finished 3rd in the World Under-21 final, of course, last weekend as heat number 10 gets underway into the first turn. Woryna's made a good start. Here comes Lambert around the outside though, and it's close between the 2 riders, but Robert Lambert is who takes the lead from Kacper Woryna in second. Erik Riss only back in 3rd. Nicolai Klindt is at the back. It is a 4-2. In fact, it could be a 5-1 because although Woryna, well, now he has taken a tumble he has come crashing down, and there's no red lights on at the moment. There is now, and the race, well, it has been stopped by referee Graham Flint, and well, I fear for Kacper Woryna. He got some lift coming down out of the fourth bend, and then Erik Riss came through on the inside, and I think that's a pretty it's pretty clear that it will be the Pole who is disqualified as being the cause of the stoppage. And just waiting for the official word from Craig Saul as the fans look once more at the big screen here. And well, the white exclusion light has come on, so I don't think Neil Middleditch can argue too much with that, as Woryna coming down under pressure from Erik Riss.
The rider in white.
And the white exclusion light, it has been announced officially. I think they was looking at the pool earlier when the cheer went up. But Woryna, he is out of the rerun of heat number 10, so it's definite chances for Kings Lynn to eat into the lead that the Pirates had. Good to see that Kacper seems to be okay. Not been the greatest of nights for him so far. Paid 3 from his 3 rides, and he's out of the rerun of heat number 10. Robert Lambert, he's going to have to go again. He was leading the course when the race was stopped. Erik Riss, well, he had made a fair challenge on Kacper. Nicolai Klindt, who did not make the start, he was in last place when the race was stopped. He's going to come out on his own. Well, Graham Flint, that's where his position is. That's where he watches the action from. And in actual fact, where a new rule has been brought out, and Klindt, he has been brought out off of 15 metres. A new rule has been brought out if a rider falls down, if it's your own team, and the referee deems that the rider could have got off the track in time, then the rider that comes out, the only team rider that comes out, he is penalised at 15 metres. It does. Well, I'm not sure if it's the fair. It's certainly not the fairest rule, because Klindt has done nothing wrong. He was just racing his own race, of course, but that's the decision of Graham Flint. The new rule has been brought in, so it should be a pretty straightforward 5-1 this for Lambert and Riss. They've scored 2 already this evening in heats 1 and 6, and they look like they're going to make it a hat-trick in heat number 10, as Robert Lambert it is who leads away from Erik Riss in second place. Erik, well, he will be unbeaten by a Poole rider from his 4 rides. If he stays in second place, he'll be paid 12, a 4-ride paid maximum. And well, there's every chance we'll see him in heat number 15. Of course, Robert Lambert will he also be unbeaten from his 3 rides. So far, he's out in front, pulling wheelies, as you can see. Erik Riss safe in second place. Klindt off that 15-metre handicap, making no impression at all. So a 5-1 beckons for Kings Lynn to be their 4th of the meet and the 3rd from this pairing, and it will see them move to within, well, it'll give them a lead of 6 points on the night, and will move to within 10 points of Poole on aggregate once again. So that's working out well for the True Plant Stars. Of course, Kings Lynn, well, they are chasing a double this season. They have also got the Knockout Cup final to look forward to next week at Somerset next Wednesday, and then back here at Adrian Flux Arena next Thursday. But that may be easier to achieve the Cup success rather than the league. Of course, they are still struggling. They've got a mountain to climb, 10 with 5 races remaining. They've got to make up 10 points. Of course, we could get golden heats if Kings Lynn could do it, but they're certainly putting a good display there from Lambert and Riss. Race number 11. Adam Ellis comes out off gate number 1. Hasn't scored a point so far for Kings Lynn. Guesting, of course, one of the 2 guests for the Stars. Off gate number 2 it is Chris Harris. No heroic so far from Chris this evening. He's just been pretty solid. Paid 4 from his 2 rides. Of course, he did combine with Josh Grajczonek in heat number 5 for that 5-1. Off at gate number 3 we got Cole Howarth, who scored 3 points so far from his 2 rides, and from the outside Josh Grajczonek, who has scored 5 points from his 3 races. has come back well from a last in heat number 1 to score 5 points in his last 2 outings. So heat number 11, races are starting to run out for Kings Lynn. The Pirates can almost taste the prize of their 10th title, you feel, as heat number 11 gets underway. And Ellis, well, at last he's made a fast gate, what he is renowned for. He leads it from Grajczonek in second place. Harris on the inside of Carl Howarth, the 2 guests for Kings Lynn in this one. And well, they're getting a 3-all at the moment as Ellis leads the way from Grajczonek, and Harris holding on to that second and third. Carl Howarth is at the back. So again, this would suit Poole certainly more than it would Kings Lynn. There would only be 4 races left after this one, and the Pirates can have a 10-point lead if it stays like this. Adam Ellis it is who's making up for those 2 pointless rides in this one. He leads the way. They're on the final lap. Adams had a very good year this season with Swindon, and also for Lakeside in the Championship. Of course, the Hammers chasing their own glory in that league as he wins heat number 11. Second place goes to Josh Grajczonek, Chris Harris in third, keeping Carl Howarth behind him. It is, well, it's just our second shared heat of the night, but Midlow, well, once again, he will be the happy of the 2 team managers. 11 races gone, just 4 remain. Kings Lynn, they lead by 36 points to 30 on the night, but the Pirates, they hold on to that 10-point advantage, 83 to 73, and now just 4 races to go. Dale congratulating Adam for his, well, in fact, that's his first points of the meeting in his 3rd ride.
Time of 59.84, 59.84, finishing ahead from the sponsor lead 11.
Frederik Jakobsen just studying that last race. Neil Morris also there as well. The bomber just going through the pitch, as you can see. Niels Christian Everson devastated not to be able to ride tonight, of course injured in that Thomas Gollop benefit meeting at Bidgosh on Sunday, which we did cover. And well, plenty of fans are watching the action from the infield with Captain Speedy ahead of heat number 12. I think it's where they pay a £5 and they go and watch the action from to get a different perspective of the race in it. Well, from our own experience, it certainly is completely different from the inside of the circuit. We move on to heat number 12. Big races coming up. Ty Proctor off 1, Richie Worrall off 2, Simon Lambert off 3, Kacper Woryna off 4. Simon Lambert, will he change his bike for this one? He's coming out on a second machine. He's well, he's had a couple of lasts and a second place so far. Ty Proctor, well, he's had 2 wins and a third. He's done well tonight. Kacper Woryna, well, he's had a paid winner and 2 last places. Of course, that fall in his last outing. And Richie Worrall, well, he's had a win, a fall and a second place. Heat number 12, which way is this going to go as the race gets underway and into the first bend, and it's those gates 1 and 3 once again. It is Proctor who's made a good start, and Simon Lambert has joined him. So his second bike is certainly doing the trick here in race 12. He very rarely makes starts in the Premiership. Does Simon, of course, also rides for Peterborough in the Championship. He's holding on to second place. Worrall only back in third. Woryna is at the back once again. And this will give Kings Lynn hope. This would see them move 10 points up on the night. And they only trail by 6 points on aggregate. And with Lambert in the next race and heat 15 as well, they have got chances. It is Ty Proctor who leads the way. This will be his 3rd win of the meeting. So a terrific effort by Ty this evening. Simon Lambert, what a race by him in second place. The Pirates nowhere near. Worrall in third, Woryna at the back. They're just scrapping over the odd point, but Ty Proctor, very comfortable victory in heat number 12. Second place goes to Simon Lambert. Great ride by Simon in that one. Third spot to Richie Worrall. Nothing there for Woryna. A 5-1-4 Kings Lynn, and that is their 5th of the meeting. And it does mean that they now move to within 10 points. 6 points on aggregates, that they lead by 10 on the night. and on aggregate they now only trail by 6, 84 to 78. That's lit the crowd up once again, just as it did in the early heats. The crowd, well, they have gone a little bit quiet of late, of course, with the Pirates doing a good rear guard action, but what a ride that was by Simon Lambert, the lanky Lambert. He gets a terrific win in that, or paid win in that race, and getting some big congratulations as you would expect as well. Ty Proctor, 3 wins and a third. He's done brilliantly well so far tonight. The destination still not decided. Neil Middleditch looking a little bit concerned, isn't he? And well, the cigarettes are gone, and he's got one of the e-cigarettes now, of course, all the rage these days. Having a few words with Matt Ford. They've guided Poole to 8 league titles between them in the last 20 years. Well, 7 league titles. They're going for their 8th this evening. What would be the 10th in overall? Ty Proctor, excellent win considering his hand problem. And well, someone just getting the refreshments in, as you can see, ahead of heat number 13. A mild night here this evening, luckily for everyone concerned. Of course, we have filmed some absolutely freezing meetings here in the past. Remember Good Friday a few years ago, when the meeting actually got abandoned during this after this race. Actually, heat 13, Niels Christian Evensen come out for a race, and he fell, and the race, the meeting was abandoned because of frost coming through the track surface. That's certainly not going to happen tonight. What may happen is that Poole, well, if they could get a 5-1 in this one, then they will be crowned champions. That is what they need, and they have got out for them. They have got Chris Harris coming out off gate number 1 and Nick Morris off gate number 3. They are against Robert Lambert, unbeaten by a Poole rider. He's off gate number 2, and Adam Ellis, who got a race win in his last ride, having started with a couple of last places. So Poole 5-1 would do it for them in heat number 13 to wrap up their 10th Premiership or top division title. They haven't won it since 2015. The Manchester United of British Speedway, it's been said over many seasons. Heat number 13, it is underway, and so is Chris Harris. He has made a terrific start. The Poole fans below us are going mad because they could be winning the title in this one. It is Harris on the inside and Nick Morris on the outside. Robert Lambert is in 3rd. Adam Ellis also right in the mix at the end of the opening lap, and this will do it for Poole. Nick Morris, the Swindon guest for Poole, is he going to help the Pirates win the title here this evening? It's looking likely because he leads the way. Harris in 2nd place, Lambert only back in 3rd. He must find a way past Chris Harris, otherwise Poole are the champions. As they go down the back straight on the 3rd lap, Adam Ellis is at the back once again for the 3rd time this evening. It is Nick Morris that leads the way. Lambert going out very wide indeed, but Harris holding him off. Here comes Lambert on the inside of Chris, and he's got through in the 2nd place. Harris comes back at him on the inside. Terrific action in race number 13, and Lambert, well, he has got through in the 2nd place, and it does mean that Poole, well, they're still not quite there as yet, as Nick Morris wins the race, but Robert Lambert, well, that was quite brilliant racing by him. He gets 2nd place on the 3rd lap, coming steaming through on the inside of the bomber, just as Chris has done so many times in his career, of course, and Harris was unable to get back past Lambert, so it could be delaying the inevitable. Poole, well, they do only need a couple of points in heat number 14, but Kingston, well, they have got a lifeline. They need 2 5-1s to force golden heats here at the Adrian Flux Arena. Nick Morris doing a grand job in heat 13 for the Pirates. Lambert coming past Chris Harris. Adam Ellis finishing at the back. A 4-2 for the Poole. Then they now trail by 43 points to 35 on the night, but on aggregate they lead by 88 points to 80. 2 points in the next race will be enough.
43 to 35.
And well, there is the bomber. It was almost there for him, wasn't it? He's had some great success in the playoffs, of course, with Coventry. 3 times he's won the the Elite League title with them. Top division title, of course, either way. There's Robert Lambert. He had to do that, make that move on Harris, and he managed to pull it off. A great ride by the Kings in number 1 and captain. one of the youngest in their history. Super stuff from him. And there's the Pirates skull and crossbones, and there's the Poole supporters. Will they be celebrating after this race? They only need a couple of points and they will hit the magical 90 points mark, which means that they cannot be beaten. And as they come out for this one, of course, we could have a freak result, 5-0 in heat number 15, but a couple of points, a couple of 2 points is what is needed for Poole in this one, because even if Kings Lynn were to get a 5-0 in heat number 15, they would still go down by 90 points to 89, so 2 points it is that's required for Poole. We've got our change, the first of the night, and it is Dale Ellis who brings out Simon Lambert to replace Carl Howarth in this one. So Simon, will he add some heroics in heat 12 on that second bike? Can he repeat the feat in heat number 14? He's off the inside gate position. Nicolai Klindt is off gate number 2. Gate number 3 is Thomas Jorgensen. Frederik Jakobsen, he comes out off gate number 4. So the mathematics are simple. Poole need 2 points to be crowned Premiership champions for 2018. From bottom of the league table at the beginning of July, they made plenty of changes. Did Matt Ford, he brought in Chris Harris, he brought in Nicolai Klindt, he brought in Richie Worrall, and he brought in Frederik Jakobsen. Brady Kurtz, of course, he's unable to make it here this evening, having been injured in that semi-final at home to Somerset last week. This could be the race that wins Poole the title as heat number 14 gets underway, and that's a great start by Nicolai Klindt, but Thomas Jorgensen has come around the outside to lead the way. It is Jorgensen in the lead from Jakobsen in second. Klindt is in third, Lambert is at the back, and it's the 3 Danes in first, second and third. The Englishman is at the back, and the Englishman has got to find a way past the 2 Pirates, or else Poole are the champions. It is Thomas Jorgensen who leads the way. The Pirates duo, well, I'm sure they know that they can just hold on in second and third. That will be more than enough. As Klindt, well, he's looking over both shoulders, and you see that Simon Lambert is behind him, and he's about 4, 5, 6 bike lengths behind. It's looking good for Poole. Kings Lynn, well, they've led the league table, of course, but it's gone wrong for them in the playoffs with Everson and Michael Palmtoft having the injuries. Poole, of course, they had their own injury with Brady Kurtz, but they've covered that pretty well with Nick Morris. Thomas Jorgensen is going to win heat number 14, but Poole are going to be crowned the 2018 Premiership champions. Many congratulations to them. The crowd, or the Poole fans below us, go absolutely wild, and who can blame them? They have won it for the 10th time in total, the top league title, and the 8th time under the stewardship of Matt Ford and Neil Middleditch. That is some record, and well, Poole have done it. So they've gone from bottom of the league to finish third in the final league table, make the playoffs, see Somerset off in an absolute thriller over 2 legs at Wimborne Road, going through in the final race, and then they've beaten Kings Lynn by 16 points 2 nights ago at Wimborne Road, and they have come here and defended that 16-point lead this evening. Great wild celebrations. Midlow absolutely delighted, and no wonder Matt Ford is out on track, as you can see. Nicolai Klindt, what a big part he's played over the 2 legs, as have all of the riders for Poole, of course, and say many congratulations to them. They never know when they're beaten, do they? It's going to be the bumps for Nicolai. And Poole, well, it was that those 4-5-1s in the first 4 races 48 hours ago that did all the damage. And of course they led by 18 points after 5 races. Kings Lynn, well, they've done well to reduce that deficit to 8 points, but it's not enough. I'm afraid there's only 1 race remaining, as Frederik Jakobsen receives the bumps as well. Jubilant scenes here in Norfolk for the Poole Volvo Cars Pirates, as Midlow, well, he's having a few words with Brando, as Matt Ford congratulates the riders who have brought home the title for him. Yet again, of course, he's put the club up for sale. What a way to go out if it does get sold this year, with another top flight title. Dale Alec congratulating the Pirates pairing who scored that the points in heat number 14, and well, that's the trophy that will be awarded. Robin Brundle, part of the promotional team at King's Lynn, he won't be getting his hands on that, I'm afraid, this evening, nor will any of the King's Lynn riders or management, as we get ready for the final track action of the 2018 Premiership final. Then, of course, not the final action here at the Adrian Flux Arena, because we've got 15 heats, possibly more here next week when Somerset are in town. That promises to be a cracking knockout cup final. The line-up for this final race: we have got Chris Harris off gate number 1, Erik Riss comes out off gate number 2, not surprisingly Josh Grajczonek is off gate number 3, and Robert Lambert is off gate number 4. So the two Stars riders, they've only dropped 1 point between them so far in 8 rides, where they finish off with a 5-1 against the Bomber and Josh. Heat number 15 gets underway. In fact, it doesn't for Chris Harris, because his bike has given up the ghost at the start line. So it is Erik Riss who leads the way. Robert Lambert is in second place. Josh Grajczonek is in third. Well, that's fortunate that the title was already won for Poole, of course, because, well, the Stars, they look like they're going to finish with yet another 5-1 from this great pairing. This will be the 4th out of 4 races together this evening. And well, they will just come up short. It will only be by 4 points, of course, as Erik Riss leads the way from Robert Lambert in second. Grajczonek content to just ride around back in third. Chris Harris still looking down at his bike on the infield. They're on the final lap, and it is Riss and Lambert who are going to finish with a 5-1 to give King's Lynn fans something to cheer about in the final track action of the Premiership final. Erik Riss wins heat number 15, a quite superb night for the German, as it was for the Englishman in second place. Robert Lambert just dropped the 1 point in his last ride. That was to Nick Morris. And Josh Grajczonek, well, he scores a point in third. The unfortunate Bomber pulling out before his race got going. It does mean that King's Lynn, well, they win by 51 points to 39 here on the night. But Poole, well, they are victorious on aggregate by 92 points to 88. As the Mayor of King's Lynn, well, I'm sure he'd rather given it to Robert Lambert, but it's not to be. The 2018 SGB Premiership champions are the Poole Volvo Cars Pirates. Many congratulations to them, and well, we've said that a few times in the past, as the champagne is uncorked, and Middleditch, well, no doubt he's going to get covered in it. Normally the managers do, as the fans, the riders. Oh, there's Middleditch. He is indeed getting absolutely soaked to move further forward. BT Sport, they've gone off out. We're able to bring you close-ups of the jubilant Pirates.
Neil Middleditch with me, the winning team captain, or team manager rather.
Well done.
Yes, first of all, your immediate reaction?
Ecstatic, to be honest, Kelv. I mean, it's my 8th title as the Pirates manager, and I think this is a sweet one. I think it's been a tough season for us, and you know, what can you say? What a way to finish. I mean, fair play to King's Lynn, great side, finished top. You've got to feel sorry for them, but it's Speedway, isn't it? It can only be one winner.
Exactly right, you just took the words out of my mouth. It's been a roller coaster of a season. It must be a very sweet victory. Just give us a little bit of a reflection on what you went through to get to this point.
Well, I think, you know, it's common knowledge. We assembled a team at the start of the season, including Chris Holder. Obviously, people know with the visa issues and one thing and another, we didn't get to use Chris's service, so we had to look elsewhere. We had Lynn Sundstrom, who decided he didn't want to be in England anymore, and we had to make changes. And Matt made changes, very astute changes. As everybody knows, Matt's very good with his calculator, and you know, this team I've got here tonight have done tremendously well. You know, I mean, Brady was number 1 all season. He wasn't at number 1, but he did the job. And sadly, he's not here tonight to celebrate with us because he's off to Aussie in the morning. But you know, everybody played a huge part in it.
And you haven't had a superstar, and you've been accustomed to having big riders in your team that you can rely on. How's that changed your approach to meetings when you've had to have this 7-man performance every time?
Yeah, I've said it time and time again on TV that, you know, as a team, when we work as a team, we are a very good team, but we can't afford to have passengers. And I think, these last 3 or 4 meetings, the Somerset meetings, and obviously tonight, we performed as a team. Everybody played their part. Everybody.
They did indeed. Many congratulations, Neil. Superb effort.
Cheers. Thanks, mate. Yes.
And these will be the pictures, of course, that will be appearing in the Speedway publications. Local paper down at Poole as well, of course, the Bournemouth Evening Echo. Number 8 there from Midlow. See that? That's his 8th title. He had that ready, didn't he? As say the snappers continue to snap away. That's great. The mechanics are getting their moment in the sun as well. As the bomber, we're having a few words with journalists there. Dale Allett, well, so that's the other side of the coin, unfortunately. Couldn't quite do it, the Stars, but the Pirates have. And we'll grab a few words with the promoter.
Well, we've got Poole co-promoter Matt Ford joining us now, an exuberant Matt Ford as well. The tension was building way before the start of this meeting. It's finishing now with an emotional high. Really has been extremes of emotion for you guys.
Well, from July onwards, or I think pretty much July, we were bottom of the league to now be top of it, or not top of but through the playoffs. It's been exceptional, and what a great performance by all 7 of them.
I was going to say, incredible team performance to get you there. The Stars hit you at various points in the meeting, particularly as we moved into the second half. Did you ever have any nerves or worries that they could pull it back?
Most definitely. I think we've rode our luck. Let's make that absolutely clear that, this could have been a very different result if had Niels and Michael Palm-Toft been here. I fully appreciate that. It's happened to me. I've lost Darcy twice on the days before finals as well, and it does happen. But hey, this year's our turn. We had a bit of luck, and I'm really proud of everybody.
And it takes the Pirates into double figures, a 10th senior league championship. What does that mean?
Yeah, I think it's 8 for me, or since I've been in the club, in 69 and 94. So it was quite nice. I think we won 2 in 50, and we've won 8 in the last 16. So, not too bad. That's our 25th trophy since Neil and I came into the club. And I have to say, probably our hardest to win. If you look at the league table and the way everyone's performed. But, I've just got to take my hat off to the riders. I appreciate everyone does this when you win something. But, we haven't got a team with superstars in it. The Tony Ricardsons, Magic Janoskis, Chris and Darcy, those guys that I could guaranteed would score me double figures every match. I've not got one of them anymore. This team is a strength and depth team. They've all done well. They've all won a race, I believe, over the 2 legs of the playoffs. And my captain, Josh Grajczonek, to those people that were giving him abuse, hold your head in shame. I knew what he was capable of doing, and I'm so proud of him and Brady Kurtz, who should have been with us tonight. But what a great achievement.
Well, the numbers speak for themselves. At the end of the day, there's no arguing with them. Matt, many, many congratulations on your league championship.
Great, lovely. What can you say? I sound like Lorraine off of Breakfast TV. Super smashing great. It's been a lovely, evening. It's never been as warm when I've come. So, but long may the club continue.
And thank you again.
Cheers. Cheers.
Well, he's been grabbed for photo shoots, he's been grabbed for interviews. We've waited patiently, and really at the end of a night like this, you've got all the time in the world now. What an emotional period for you.
Yeah, definitely. It was a massive battle tonight. We started off with a 5-1 against us. Me and Bomber let the boys down straight up, but we bounced back straight away in Heat 2, and I think we got a 4-2 there. So, that set us straight back off again, and we were expecting the track to be a lot grippier than what it actually was, because we came here a couple of weeks ago and it was really grippy. So we all brought really strong stuff, and we weren't quite set up in the first few rides, but got our stuff sorted out, and just cracked on 3 3s and a couple 5-1s there, and it kept nip and tuck all throughout the meeting, which is expected. It's a playoff final, so no one's going to run away with it, and we were fully expecting Kings Lynn to bounce back and hit us hard, and they did. It battled right to the end, and I think that's a good advert for Speedway. So it's a good advert for Speedway because we didn't run away with it. Kings Lynn didn't crawl back and just run away with it. It went down to Heat 14, one of the last races of the night. So I think that's a phenomenal effort by everyone, and full credit to both teams. It's been a stressful couple of days, but our boys chipped in, and we read the track as much as we could and made things work, and yeah, we got the win in the end, which we're over the moon about.
Yeah, and for you personally, a great night. You're into Heat 15, and what is this now? 3 league championships for the Pirates and 7 league titles overall across your clubs?
Yeah,
something like that?
I think so. Not saying I lose count, but you know, you forget about the years and stuff. But yeah, it would have been nice to go out and win Heat 15. I made a really good start, but just before the start, one of my fork bolts come out, so the whole race, my forks were all over the shop, but we got to win anyway. So, you know, I had my steel shoe off, I was packed up, ready to go home, and Midlow said, "You're the captain, you're going out and Heat 15. I was like, "Come on, Midlow, bloody hell, we just won, mate. I don't even want to ride anymore. I'm stoked." But yeah, you know, you got to go out and do those things, and it's so unfortunate that Bomber had an engine failure on the start line as well, because it would have been nice to just finish off with a 5-1 and really show them that we've won overall. But yeah, we obviously done that in Heat 14.
Yeah, and you look at the riders' individuals very lastly, and as team captain there, you rode as a team and you won it as a team.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said before, it was always going to be very, very tough coming here, because as riders, we always watch where we're going to go, and we see that Kings Lynn have been slaughtering teams week in, week out, and yeah, we knew we had to up our game when we come here, and obviously being a final, everyone steps up a little bit. We probably, none of us ran away with double figures, I don't think, but you know, we all chipped in with 6s and 7s, and I think that made a big difference at the end of the day.
Well, wonderful achievement. Congratulations again, Josh. Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
So good to hear there from the skipper and the promoter. There is Matt posing once again with the trophy, and it looks like the fans are going to get a moment in the sun as well. And so very much a fans club at Poole. So that just about wraps it up from the Adrian Flux Arena. So once again, bad luck to Kings Lynn. They gave it a great try, but just came up short in the final analysis. The Pirates have done it once again. The 8th time under the stewardship of Matt and Neil, the 10th time in total. Until next time and next season then, it's goodbye from the Adrian Flux Arena and goodbye from ReRun Productions.